Yeah, looks great if you're a fan, but no other game has sold me quite yet, and the launch title selection for Europe, the only thing that's grabbed out of me is something I definitely want to get is Super Street Fighter 4. Maybe Pilot Wings just because it's around Yoo-Hoo Island again, and I actually really love the airplane game in Wii Sports, but it's not conclusive enough to make me buy the system, or at the very least not on launch day. I'll definitely get the 3DS, but it probably won't be next month when it's launched. It will probably be the month after, or just somewhere later down the line, when I'm interested in by more than just Super Street Fighter 3D.
That's fair enough, and I'm going to amend my opinion from before. I still wish they'd stop beating the DS market to death, but the 3DS interests me way more now than the DSi ever did. I will say that. I've seen a few games, seen some previews of the 3DS now that it's so close to launch, and it looks better than I originally thought. I will say that.
Now that's what I mean. The console itself is kind of interesting because you can tell it's got a lot more power than the DS originally has, and the 3D itself might be kind of interesting.
Oh, I will mention on the power, I saw the Resident Evil they're planning to release on it, and I was like, that's a DS?
That's the thing. This is really amazing. I mean, Super Street Fighter 4, one of the reasons I'm really interested about that game, and the reason why I knew that I was going to be impressed by its power, because that game was originally on Xbox 360.
And the fact that they can successfully port that to a DS is pretty impressive.
So yeah, in short, we're impressed by it, but probably won't get it on launch day. Not until there's been some more interesting content on offer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, I say again, I'm glad they did not make Pokemon Black and White exclusive to the 3DS.
Oh, no. In fact, that actually leads us to another question later down the line, but before that, there's this one.
Will you guys ever give out your Wii friend codes, PSN names, or Xbox Live gamer tags, etc.?
We might do, but there's a slight problem. See, I'm not very big into online gaming, so I could give you the tags, I could give you my Wii code or DS code, etc., but it would be useless since I very rarely go online. The only way you would be guaranteed to have a match with me is PM me directly and said, okay, I'd like to challenge you at a certain time. That's the only way you can really guarantee it, because to be honest, I very rarely go online because part of the question, someone asked this recently if we speak through voice filters. The honest answer is the reason why our voices sound grainy at times is because our internet connections are not great, especially mine. It lags heavily during Brawl, so it's not really the greatest connection to use in a fight, so...
Yeah, that's actually part of my answer, too. Okay, taking it from the top. Wii friend codes, absolutely useless, because I own one game for the Wii now, and it's Fire Emblem 10. So, there's no real point to that. Xbox gamer tag, maybe, but I don't go online on the Xbox anymore because I think my internet adapter for that is dying because my internet connection is invariably crap on that thing. PS3, maybe, again, but I only own 2 online games on that, and it's Call of Duty Black Ops, and Call of Duty World at War, so, yeah. Maybe if you PM'd me, it's Sven the Crusader on YouTube, but that's basically it. Wii, no point. Xbox, rarely go on it. And PS3, I guess.
So yeah, it would be pointless to give them out, but if you really want to challenge us in a game, just send us a PM and we'll give a response. Although, keep in mind one thing. I personally live in Europe and there's a massive time difference between American audiences. In fact, just to give you an idea, it's about midday where Sven is. It's dark outside where I am, so...
Yeah, it's 11:58 a.m. here.
And over here, it's 5 to 7 p.m.
Yeah, I've learned that time difference directly to heart because I know almost... Literally, I practically know nobody outside of Britain online. Somehow.
Oh dear. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're choosing times to challenge me.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 3. This is again still from DKC Jungle Vine.
What are your guys' thoughts on Pokemon Black and White?
Put simply, we want.
Yes, put simply, gimme.
In fact, it comes around roughly the same time. It comes out March the 4th over here and March the 6th in America. So the March edition of Monkey Broadcast is pretty much going to be a review of Pokemon Black and White.
Yeah, well, I know you're definitely going to get it. I might not get it immediately, so...
Yeah, fair enough. One of us will get it either way, so...
Yeah. And then there will be Pokemon fanboyism all around, and we will all be happy.
Yay! You'll ignore that. Okay, moving on. Question number 4.
Do you think that a Donkey Kong RPG could work? And who would you want to make it?
Ooh,
That's a good question, actually. But...
yeah. The first part of it's pretty easy, because I would say yes, because if they can make Mario an RPG, they can definitely make Donkey Kong an RPG. I mean, you've got other cast, many of which have already had previous roles as basically guys who sell stuff to you at shops, etc. So, yeah, DK's got everything you need to make a good RPG. Setting, characters, everything. Who would make it? That's the harder part. In my ultimate fanboy dream, it would be Namco's Tales of Studio, just because... yeah, for those of you who don't know, there are only 2 series I'll happily proclaim myself fanboys of. The first being Donkey Kong, and the second is the Tales series. And so, if they were made by the same people, I would be ecstatic, but I doubt that would ever happen though. So, probably either Alpha Dream or Intelligent Systems, just because of what they did with Mario in their own games, which is Alpha Dream made a Superstar Saga, which I still believe is the best of the Game Boy Advance RPGs, and Intelligent Systems just because, well, they made Paper Mario.
And let's face it, Fire Emblem. Now...
That is true.
Now, my answer is, yes, I think it could work, and it's amazing you should think of that, because I swear to God that I was actually thinking of a Donkey Kong RPG days ago. and who would I want make it? I think Jonin's answer was good, but I'm just going to amend one thing. Not BioWare's DS division.
Yeah, the handheld edition. They would have got... yes, there's a certain game they made which... oh, they could... Oh, but in hell...
Yeah, and it's really strange that they should flop that, because it's BioWare. They made Knights of the Old Republic. They made Mass Effect. What the hell?
So yeah, maybe if it was the actual BioWare, the people who made the critically successful games like Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, if it were them, I'd be happy, although that's extremely unlikely, because as much as those two games are RPGs, I don't think they're the RPGs people are thinking of. But,
true.
Yeah, if their handheld division got their hands on a Donkey Kong RPG, oh god.
Sealing my rage before I start sound like a character in Dragon Ball Z, let's...
Before you start to sound like Broly.
Oh god. Oh dear lord. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's I'd say yes, and there are a few companies we would like to see they do. I don't think Square Enix, just because they haven't... Well, actually, to be fair, while the Final Fantasy games, from what I've seen, haven't been that great as of late. I mean, 13 doesn't look really too promising to me, although I should give it a fair chance. I will say that they have made some good stuff, like The World Ends With You I really enjoyed, and I've heard Kingdom Hearts is really good. I mean, the storyline's a little convoluted, but from what I've heard, a lot of people seem to enjoy the gameplay of Kingdom Hearts, so...
Yeah, and I've played Kingdom Hearts. I love it, and I just wish they'd stop faffing about and release the 3rd game.
Yeah, but don't you understand? They have to establish the world of Kingdom Hearts, and for that they need to make the storyline as convoluted and unintelligible as possible, create as many plot holes as they can, and make it so that absolutely no one can enter the game like Kingdom Hearts 3 and understand what the hell's going on. It's all so simple, Sven!
Yeah, the sad thing is, I've just pretty much accepted that's the case. I do not want to imagine what whoever made Kingdom Hearts would do to Donkey Kong's storyline.
Oh god, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Oh jeez, yeah, before we know that Donkey Kong could end up as his own grandfather, never mind.
Yeah, oh, and we thought Donkey Kong 64 didn't make sense.
Well, to be fair, Donkey Kong 64 made sense just as long as you didn't compare it to anything else. But anyway.
Yeah, we just derailed that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would say, hey, there are a lot of good people who could make it, and yeah, we would like to see it. But I know some people say, oh, you can't have a turn-based battle system, but to be honest, what a lot of people don't realize is that there are plenty of RPGs that don't use turn-based. I mean, we've already mentioned Kingdom Hearts, The World Ends With You, that has it's action-based battle system. I mean, Tales of, that battle system's a scaled-down version of Brawl, essentially, so...
Yeah. Well, Mass Effect certainly isn't turn-based, I know that much. Knights of the Old Republic is... I don't know what to call that, so... There's plenty of RPGs that aren't turn-based.
So yeah, it could definitely work. But yeah, that's the end of that question, and that's the end of DKC Jungle Finds Bat.
So our next 4-part question comes from Trainman666. We may divide this into 4.
I'm just curious about something. Do you or Sven read the Yu-Gi-Oh manga at all?
No, I haven't read the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, but I've seen the anime. I will say that much.
I used to watch the anime kind of fanatically, actually. Then I realized it was crap.
I wouldn't say it's crap because it does have some redeeming elements to it. It's just, I used to watch it fanatically as well, but I think the problem is once we've kind of grown up and sort of realized how overdramatic it is, and especially after seeing Little Karibo's Abridged series, it's kind of hard to take it seriously now.
Yeah, it's kind of like Pokemon, actually. You really just can't get into it anymore once you're past the age of about 13.
Because I'll be honest, the concepts of the new series, it just looks ridiculous. I mean, 5Ds I could kind of understand because I have heard it does get more intense later on, but GX, I just cannot get into because the concept is just ludicrous. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm just going to say it right now. You get a diploma in card games. You go to an effing school to learn how to play a freaking card game. Are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's just nonsensical.
You spent an entire school life in dormitories with classes and professors teaching you about a freaking card game of all things.
I'm trying to think of a concept more ridiculous than that, but I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
Oh, and furthermore, I can no longer get into at least the English release of it because 4 kids. Just 4 kids.
Yeah, that is true. Although, in defense, they did release, like, one extremely rare DVD when they actually did make a good dub that actually was based on the original script, and they didn't change too much or put terrible puns in and sort of concentrated more on the acting, but yeah, those are very hard to find, and they stopped doing it after, so I think it was Weevil's Battle they stopped at, so...
Yeah. Actually, I got the pleasure of watching one of those episodes, and if I recall correctly, it was Funimation who directed it, with 4 kids voice actors, which is kind of strange, actually.
Yeah, that explains it then.
Yeah. Oh, and just a post note here, it's not so much the dubbing that I have a problem with, because 4 kids voice actors, they're a bit iffy, but they're not terrible. They're better than, say, Fire Emblem OVA,
Yeah.
X-Blades, but I blame it on bad directing.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there.
Yeah. So, that's basically our opinions.
Yeah, but I still kind of like it for a big charm and nostalgia, but anyway, we're getting kind of off topic.
This entire question is actually to pertain to that.
If so, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, we've already kind of given that answer.
Yeah. I think I may have accidentally skipped that part of the question.
Oh, that's fair enough. But
Who is your favorite character and why?
I can't say. I haven't watched it in years.
okay, my favorite character. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but I'd say my favorite character, especially when I was younger, would have to be Joey or Junichi, whichever one you prefer. Simply because, one, I have a weakness for underdog characters anyway, so I'm always going to be rooting them on. That's kind of the reason why Krillin's my favorite character in Dragon Ball Z. And 2, I thought it was kind of interesting that he could hold his own against many of other characters in this series. I mean, hell, he came 4th in the Battle City arc, despite the fact that unlike the main character Yugi, he didn't have any supernatural powers aiding him, and unlike Kaiba, didn't have the vast resources of wealth, which meant he could just get any card he wanted. But heck, he almost defeated the final boss. If he hadn't, physically passed out from exhaustion because of some supernatural crap he was pulling behind the scenes, then he would have beaten the final boss fair and square, so...
That's pretty badass, actually.
Yeah, that's why I like Joey, just because... Yeah, he was an ordinary guy, and yet he was holding his own against some of the best.
Yeah, I wish I could add anything better to that, but like I said, I can't even remember the characters.